I begin to explain what I'm feeling? I'm not even sure that it makes sense to me. But here we are again at the same point of contention. I never dreamed there'd be days when it hurts so much to love. Oh, hurts so much to love you back. Oh, but it costs this much to love. Wonder if you'll get it back. Oh, if I want you and you want me, tell me why can't we agree? Maybe it takes more than you and more than you. Maybe it takes more than me. Oh, maybe it takes three. There are days when it feels just like heaven, but I'm looking over the edge into hell. And for my brother it's sunny, but raining on me. I would never believe that it hurts so much to love. Hurts so much to love you back. Oh, when it costs this much to love, wonder if you'll get it back. Ooh, if I want you and you want me, tell me why can't we agree? Maybe it's more than you and more than you. Maybe it takes oh, if I want you and you wanted me, tell me why can't we agree? Maybe it takes more than you and more than you. Maybe it takes after all we've been through is worth another try. I know anything that's worth having, baby, it's always worth the fight. Every day we promise to be here tomorrow. We can leave the past behind one day at a time. Find a way to make things right again. Oh, why can't we agree? Yeah, it takes more than you and more than you. Maybe it takes three. Oh, I want you and you wanted me. Tell me why can't we agree? Maybe it takes more than you and me. Maybe it takes three. If I want you and you want me, tell me why can't we agree? Maybe it takes more than you and more than maybe it takes three.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Some of you are back from our Faith Building Bootcamp. And so, I'm happy to see you. Thank you so much for joining us at our Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. I am Dr. Helen, your host. I am the host of both the Faith Building Bootcamp and the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. And we are here on day 6. I can't believe how quickly the time goes. Day 6 of our Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. So here we go, y'all. Can you even believe it? So I also don't know if you are struggling or if you are having a decent time with your detox of day 6. Have you been on target? Have you fallen off the horse? Are you wavering? Are you nervous? Do you want to stop? Do you want to keep going? I usually find that the first 3 days are the most difficult, and it gets better after that. So I don't know if you are joining us because this is your first day with us, because there are people that are joining. Even now, there are people joining the Accelerated Healing Detox. So I don't know if people are joining at your first day, or if it's your second day, or if it's your sixth day. But if it is your first day, welcome. If it is your second day, welcome back. And if it's your sixth day, look at you, because you're still here. I'm so excited. So am I. Somebody said they fell off the horse, but they got back on. That works. Just get back on the proverbial horse, because you will see in amazing benefits. And I'm going to invite somebody on today to tell you about their benefits as we get to talk about what we're going to talk about today. Look, somebody's on. Look, God is good. You're on target. You better go. I love it. So sometimes it happens, but if it does, you just keep going. I am also the author of Reverse It: How to Reverse Type 2 Diabetes and Other Chronic Illnesses, along with the Success Journal. And I brought a copy of it so that you can see it. There it is. Can you see that? Reverse It: Type 2 Diabetes. And I have a copy of the Reverse It Success Journal. So I brought that here for you, and also the inventor of the Power Pack, which is a very strong immune booster. How are you? It's good to see you too. So excited for you guys to be here. Our guest today, she's got to click on a link to get into the stage. So I sent you a link. So check on that link and come on stage as we go through the presentation today. I made a little bit of a change. We were going to talk about gut health today, but I thought we would start first talking about water. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about gut health. And then we're going to do a series of what I call hidden figures that actually damage gut health. So we're going to talk about that. So I wanted to do it in that order. So we're going to talk about the good old water that everybody needs, because it is so important for our bodies, because the body is literally 60% water. If you were to look at yourself and you could x-ray yourself, you would see that that 60% of you in a well hydrated state is water. And so this water is really vital for all of your various bodily functions, especially for digestion. We talked before about the fact that as we continue in our next interval, when we start adding these smoothies in with lots of fiber, you want to drink lots of water, because the water, fiber without water leads to constipation and gas. And so we want to make sure we're drinking lots of water between our smoothies and between our juices. The other thing that happens even during the time that we're juicing and we're drinking waters between the juices, if you don't drink waters, you're not flushing those impurities out, those toxins out. So you want to drink the water. It's like the juices are kind of smoking out the toxins, and the water is flushing out the toxins. So it's important to drink water in between, because sometimes what can happen is that, you can cause cramping if too many of the toxins get into the muscles or anything like that. You can get cramping, and that's not fun. So you want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. It is also something that is needed for temperature regulation. You'll notice that sometimes when you're working out, your body starts to sweat. That's because your body's trying to regulate your temperature. So you lose the water because the water is heated up. So you lose it to keep your body temperature at a neutral place. And then for nutrient support, so all the foods that we eat and all of the substance that we need, if we weren't drinking enough water, our blood would be too thick and the flow would slow down. And so we want to make sure that the flow is moving perfectly and that we're able to absorb all the nutrients in that flow. So staying hydrated really supports overall well-being and also helps up here. And then with your physical performance, because now you're going to get more blood circulating so that you can get oxygen to your tissues when the blood is flowing well. Now, there are different types of water. Some of the water that is included are like tap water, where you can just turn the faucet on and you get tap water that comes out of the faucet. The tap water is really water that is municipally supplied. It's the municipal supply of water to people's houses, and it undergoes various treatments. You'll see those big plants, and the water actually goes through different treatments so that it can actually meet safety standards when you're drinking the water. And then there's bottled water, and that bottled water is packaged water. It's packaged in a bottle, and it can come in the form of spring water, purified water, or mineral water. And we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to touch on a little bit about those. Oops, sorry. We're going to touch on those different types of water. But I'm going to, when we go through Hidden Figures, I have a little something more to talk to you about on that. There's carbonated water, and carbonated water is infused with carbon dioxide that creates like that bubbly kind of fizzy taste, that bubbly thing that you feel on your lips when you're drinking it. Then there's spring water that is sourced from natural springs, and often it's considered pure water. It may contain minerals in the water. Purified water is processed to remove impurities and the contaminants from the water. And they usually do this like through a distillation process, or they may do it through reverse osmosis. And reverse osmosis really just means that they're going to put like a filter. It's really a filter. They call it a semi-permeable membrane. Put a filter here so that when the water is purified, large molecules will go the small molecules, the water molecules, will go straight through to the other side, but larger molecules are blocked, so they won't get there. So you'll see that you won't have minerals in that water. You won't have salt or any other impurities in that water. That's the reason that it's purified, is so you can get out the impurities, but it will remove some of the minerals as well. And then the mineral water contains minerals from its source, whatever that source means, and it's typically from underground springs. And obviously it says it means what it says. There are minerals in the water. Distilled water is purified and obviously through the distillation process. And so when you're distilling water, it's like you have to boil the water, then you use the condensation of the water, removing the impurities, and then that is what you're left with is the distilled water. Alkaline water is water with a higher pH and has health benefits associated with it. A type of alkaline water is called Kangen water, and it's a brand of alkaline water that uses a different kind of system to ionize. It uses an ionization system to actually alkalinize the water, and it's a bit stronger than your typical alkaline water. And so Kangen water is a wonderful thing, and I'm not promoting it because I'm not promoting it, but I like Kangen water because of its benefits. I also like that you can do different things with the water. It's a water filtration system, and it alkalinizes the water, and it's an amazing type of water. Now, what is the best water to drink? That is a really, really good question. And when I think about water to drink, obviously it's better to drink water that has met quality standards, that it's purified and free from contaminants. You want to, through that whole treatment process. So your typical tap water is considered safe to drink, but it may not. It still may have some contaminants in it. And the water is what we call acidic. We do have a talk on acid basis, so you can understand a little bit more about what it means for acidity and alkalinity. But those things, suffice it to say for now that that your tap water is more acidic water. You can also use testing kits that are available, like just over the counter, where you can test for the pH of the water. You can test to see if there's bacteria or lead in the water, and then some other parameters as well. Some of the things that can kind of get in the water, whether it be parasites, which we don't tend to have that problem in the United States because of our municipal system of purifying the water. But outside in third world countries, they're more likely to have parasites in their water, which obviously we know is really damaging to your system. So parasites and bacteria and things of that nature. Now we can have bacteria in our water in this way. So that's one of the reasons that I like doing purified water. And you can also have the water professionally tested. So you just hire a certified laboratory or water company come in and conduct water quality tests, especially if you suspect there's some contaminants in your waters or any other issues. We actually had somebody come in and test our water because the area that we live in is not that great. And so the water was tested, and there was lots of lime in the water. So we don't drink tap water where we are. In some other parts of the country, the water is actually pretty good. I think New York is one of those states that has pretty good water. But our water has lots of lime in it. So we don't drink the water from the tap here in my family. We can also it's important, like there are regulatory standards that the EPA has put out, so you can actually familiarize yourself with the national water quality standard, so that you can compare your test results with what the national standard is, and that is very helpful. And so you can do that. You can actually go to EPA.gov, and they will give you a list of the regulatory standards that are necessary for the types of water. When you're testing your water, which water, how your water kind of stacks up against the national average. So you can familiarize yourself with that. It's a pretty lengthy report. It's definitely something that you can do. Now I want to just talk a little bit. Actually, I'm going to talk about carbonated water first, because carbonated water, people talk about, there's a lot of different carbonated waters on the market. And there are just several of them, and it's actually considered to be safe, but some carbonations will contain phosphoric acid, and phosphoric acid will typically replace the calcium in your bones and deplete the calcium, so that you're more likely to have weak bones. And so I don't typically drink carbonated water. I use it more as a celebration kind of thing, or as an occasional kind of thing. We'll do some sparkling cider or something like that, but it is not a regular thing. It is also thought that it may damage the enamel on your teeth. We don't know, the jury is still out, but it could damage the enamel on the teeth. Some studies say, well, it wasn't that much damage. Okay. But it depends on how much damage you want on your teeth. So that's one thing. But I do think that carbonated water can have some therapeutic effects. For instance, if you're coughing and it's hard to clear your throat, you might drink some carbonated water to kind of help to release release your cough, so that you can actually get it out. Or you might use it for it can be good for people with constipation. It can kind of help to get your bowels moving. I particularly I limit carbonated water in my diet because it will make your body more acidic than it's supposed to be. The other thing is that the kidneys are responsible for maintaining sort of an alkaline environment in your body, and you want your alkalinity to be somewhere between 7.35 and 7.45. But sometimes, but the thing that happens is, one is disease cannot live in an alkaline state. I'm going to repeat that. Disease cannot live in an alkaline state. However, diseases run rampant in an acidic state. Okay? Diseases run rampant in an acidic state. And so we want our bodies to be more on the alkaline side than the acidic side so that we can prevent diseases, which is why I drink lots of purified water, and I drink a lot of alkaline water. Some studies show that it doesn't affect the kidneys so much, but that happens if it continues for extended period of times, particularly with all the toxins that we're having. It puts more pressure on our detoxification systems and makes the kidneys work a bit harder to alkalinize because it kind of gets bombarded. If you're just doing one, that doesn't affect you. But if that's something that is consumed all the time, then you're adding more and more, and the kidneys have to work to get rid of that acidity. That's really kind of what your kidneys are responsible for, is for getting rid of acidity and making your body stay in an alkaline state, because your body is trying to keep you disease free. All right, so I hope that answered your question about what's the best water to drink. Other waters, I like mineral water. Sometimes, it kind of has a little salty taste to it, and I don't particularly like that. I like my water to be cool and crisp. And so I do occasionally drink mineral water when I really have to. Spring water is not one of my favorites unless it's cold. We are going to talk, when we talk about hidden figures, how to choose your bottled water. And so we will talk about that in our upcoming series after we talk about gut health tomorrow. So we'll talk about how to choose your water when we get to that point. Now, so the alkaline water is now something that I want to just spend just a moment with. Is an alkaline water is has a pH. Water is measured. There's a pH is measured from a scale that's 0 to 14, and 7 is right there in the middle. So if you are less than 7, if it's acidic, and more than 7 is alkaline. And alkaline water tends to operate on a higher alkalinity. So somewhere between 8 and even up to 11 in some places. I have a machine, and it alkalinizes my water to a 10.0. But I tend to drink around 9.5 on a regular basis. There are some conditions where your body might benefit from having it more alkaline, but that's not something that I would recommend on a regular basis. That's kind of on a case-by-case basis. But it does tend to allow your body the ability to neutralize the acids to keep your body in a more alkaline state. So somebody asks about hint water, as we are now taking questions. If you have any questions, now would be a great time to put that in the chat, because I'm going to start addressing questions now as I finish up talking about the alkaline water. I mentioned earlier there's a specific system. I don't have that system. My sister has that system, and I do like it. It's really good. It's a bit pricey, but I do tend to feel a little bit more energized when I drink it. So that has a good benefit for me. Somebody asked a question about hint water. Hint water is water. I would suggest looking on the bottle to see if it's purified water, because some bottles may be just tap water with a hint of flavor in it. And some might actually be purified water. And I'm not quite sure what hint is, if it's purified or if it's just regular tap water. But if it's purified water, I think that there's no problem with it, because it doesn't have any added sugar in it. So you're looking for that, because some waters will have sugar in it. I think like a tonic water. I think tonic water has like acidic, has high fructose corn syrup in it or something like that. And so you want to make sure that the water that you choose doesn't have any additives in it, no added sugar. You get enough sugar in so many other things. You really don't need any sugar in your water. Maybe you use that as like a treat, when you're drinking like a lemonade or something like that. But it's not really necessary to have any sugar in your water. Let's see, the Blue Jug in Fort Payne, Alabama has an excellent water system. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Fort Payne is in Alabama. Okay. And so it has an excellent water system. Good. I've not heard of it, but I certainly appreciate your input on that, to share with us on that. Are there any questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? You're welcome to put in the chat. And if you have any questions, while I'm going to bring on our special guest today, she's going to tell us her experience so far in the 40-day Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. We heard an amazing testimony a couple of days ago. And so we're going to bring another one of our participants in, so she can tell you what her experience has been so far. She is so excited. All right. Janice, would you share with us? I got to say this too. Janice's birthday was yesterday. Janice is my second oldest sister, and her birthday was yesterday. And as a celebration, instead of having cake, she had some broth from black bean soup, and it was about 3 tablespoons. It was like, do you want to put a candle on it? If you can blow out your candle. But I thought that was so funny. That was her cheat yesterday, was some broth from black bean soup. So that was awesome. But Janice, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your testimony. She's just going to take a couple of minutes to just talk about what her experience has been so far.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I went to the doctor 3 months ago for my 3 months checkup, and it wasn't good. I got off of the regular diet that I was on, and I was kind of disappointed because my blood sugar wouldn't go lower than 200, and it kept being 200. I wouldn't say anything. I was telling my husband about it, and it just seems like it didn't matter what I did, even taking my medicine, it would not go below 200. And the experience since I've been on this, I do have thoughts in my mind as to what else I can be eating instead of drinking. And I'm not going to get off. I'm determined that I'm not going to get off of this time, because I see what it's doing for me. But I got up this morning, and it hasn't been like this in such a long time. I just thank God. I was so excited because I haven't seen 95 in such a long time. I was so excited. And then I took my blood pressure. It was 120/77. And it's normally, when I wake up in the morning, it's 145/89 or something like that. And it was worrying me. And I just want to say, everybody that's on here, have your thoughts, but don't get off, because this is so beneficial to your body. You just don't understand. And I feel elated. I feel like I'm on a high. And I've been feeling like this since I've been on it, and it's like, okay, I decided not to be hard-headed anymore, because it's my health, you know what I'm saying? And I have to take care of me. And if I don't, I have great grandchildren. And I'm thankful. And I want, when I'm able to see my great grandchildren, I want to be able to run with them and just play with them and be able to move. And I think if I keep this up in the 40 days, I'm going to see just that. And I'm not going to get off of it when the 40 days is over. So it's February the 10th. I'm still going to do well. Just wanted to let you all know, keep going. I don't care what. Just keep going. Have your thoughts, get over it, but just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it, because it's really beneficial. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that to you all. I'm just excited. You all don't even understand. You don't understand. It's mhm.
Janice, thank you so much. That's an amazing testimonial of what it has done for you so far. I see people congratulating you and saying praise the Lord and amen. And I'm staying on the diet too, because wow, 95, that's incredible.
It's incredible.
Somebody says that they keep smelling corn chips, but they're going to stay
See,
on the diet.
that's
They're
right.
gonna
That's
stay with
right.
the plan. They're gonna stay with the plan. I told this story a few days ago, but I haven't eaten chicken in over 20 years, and about day 2 or day 3, and I have done this detox for more than 10 years. But every time on day 2 or 3, I'm like, wow, that chicken sure smells good. And I'm like, it's just like it's a craving. I think it used to be more than it is now, but it still comes. The thought still comes like, oh, that chicken smells
Yes.
good. And so if that is happening to you, just know it's normal. It's normal. But you are more than your thoughts. You are your entire thoughts and your body, but your thoughts will lead your actions. So you can think about it, but let that thought go in and come out on the other side.
Yes.
You take care of your body and do what
Yes.
is necessary to do, because it really does work. I see people saying, I'm staying on the diet. Thank you. That was encouraging. And somebody else said that they feel amazing on the detox.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
so excited because it does start to produce energy. I wonder if anybody has actually your sense of smell. Has your sense of smell gotten a little stronger? Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody? You can smell people's breath.
Yes.
Have you? You can smell people's breath so much easier. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's like my sense of smell is really strong. I feel much more energetic. Is that something that you feel too, Jan?
Yes. Yes. And okay, the experience I had last night, my brother-in-law was cooking some hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
And that scent got all in my nose. I smelled every ingredient in that hot dog. And I was teasing. I said, when he finished with the hot dog, just let me drink the water. Because it probably but I'm sure it has salt and all that stuff in it. I did, what I'm saying?
More than salt.
It's
Okay.
really something. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, somebody said they smell bacon.
See, yeah, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm just
Mm.
so glad that you were able to share your amazing testimonial with us, Janice. That is both encouraging, it's enlightening, and it's funny.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your encouragement and for sharing your testimony. And thank you for coming on today. I really, really appreciate that. Thank
Thank
you so
you. So it
much.
was my Jane. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So, guys, it is amazing how this works. Somebody said they wanted buttery eggs. I'm thankful for this program because this is more consistent than I have been. And your smell is better too. So, guys, this is really amazing way to neutralize those blood pressures and blood sugars, to increase your energy level, to decrease, to slow down the aging process. Did we talk about that? Because that's one of our topics is aging and how the foods that we are consuming slows down the aging process, right? So we're excited. I yesterday, somebody he teases me all the time and says, "You look 22." I know I don't look 22. Don't think that I think I look 22. But he said, you're just not aging. What's going on? You look like you're 22. Now, I know I'm aging. I just want you to know that. I do know I'm aging, but I could be more aged. But the foods that you consume will slow it down, right? It will slow it down, and some will speed it up. And so that's what we're going to learn during this whole 40 days, is how to slow the process down. Everybody's going to age. If you don't, then you're not alive. So everybody's going to age. It's just how quickly do you want to age? And can I slow it down? Somebody said you look 22. Only adults think that. 22-year-olds don't believe it. They are for sure calling me ma'am. But it is there's a book on how not to age. Absolutely. You want to slow down. It has to do with your chromosomes. It's like on a deep level. It's inside the cell in the chromosomal level, where there's something called telomeres that get shortened when you as you age. And so we're trying to teach us how to keep our telomeres longer and to stop them from getting chopped off too much, so we can age gracefully. You are exactly right. So our 40-day detox is done for just that, just some cleanups. We are now at the end of our red juices, right? You guys are still drinking your red juices. I made all of mine. I make them 3 days in advance, so they're all in the refrigerator, and I just grab a juice. My husband can just grab a juice. I just got to tell y'all, my daughter said, "Mom, okay, I couldn't continue, but she is drinking a juice a day." And I was like, you know what? If she gets this much nutrition in, I am so excited for her. Okay. She's 20 years old. She's probably got a little bit more time than I do, so she can play around a little bit longer. I can't. So I'm drinking my juices. And so we are finishing day 6 today. It's the last day of our reds. We started with the first 3 days of greens, where we were just pulling. We had lots of chlorophyll in those greens, which is what we talked about yesterday, where we were increasing our iron levels and at the same time detoxing, pulling stuff out from between the cells to detoxify. And there was we like packed in so much nutrition. We just kept packing in nutrition. You saw how many greens you're putting in there, just packing it in, and all of the different fruits and vegetables that went into each one of those juices to detox, to decrease inflammation, to decrease blood pressures, decrease blood sugars, increase energy, slow down the aging process. All of that was occurring, cleaning out the trash can, as it were, cleaning out the trash, cleaning out the closet, the glove compartments. That's what we do all the time. And now we're actually cleaning out our bodies, cleaning out the cells. That is so important. So our next 3 days that we're in now was for circulation. And so the red color is just showing that it increases your blood circulation. So that's why God made them red. Isn't that interesting? I like to tease and say God is color coded, because all the foods have like all of them are, they detox and all that kind of stuff, but he puts a little extra something in in the colors of the food that gives it an additional intensity of nutrition. And so that color coding with the red is for circulation. And then we're moving tomorrow to oranges. So I went to my local warehouse grocery store, what do you call those, club stores, and I got lots of cantaloupe, and I whatever I can get. I got oranges from them, and whatever is in the recipes that you see. I like to buy things in bulk, so that I can use them, that it's available, and it's much more cost effective for me. That's where I got all of my greens, and I've noticed like the greens that I got were at least $2 cheaper for the same large container at my club store than it was at the grocery store. So I definitely, and they actually went up $1. It used to be $3.99. But still $4.99 is better than what you would get in your regular grocery store. So I like to go to the club to get those. And I learned a little trick. If you are not a club member of one of those stores, you might be able to get a what do they call it? Like a cash card, like a gift card or something. And you can use the gift card to go into those stores and get what you need, even without having a membership. I just learned that a couple of days ago. So that's pretty exciting for anybody that doesn't have a club membership. Throat just dry, excuse me. By the way, this was my water with lemon and L-glutamine in it and my probiotic. So I just finished that for today. And so this is my breakfast. This is my breakfast drink. So tomorrow we're doing the oranges. And I got all the things, as many things as I could from there with all the oranges. That's also where I got my pomegranates from to make the pomegranate juice. That was so good. I mean, like I literally just peeled out all of the seeds out of the pomegranate and put it in the juicer. And it comes out cloudy, but it is so flavorful and so delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed your fresh pomegranate juice. I know that some of you had to go and buy pomegranate juice, and that's fine as long as it was just pomegranate juice. But the flavor is intensified the fresher it is, obviously. And so it's really, really delicious. So the oranges for the next 3 days. And so check your interval. If you do not have the intervals, we did put an email in, and I'll put it in today's so that you can go and purchase. If you already have interval 1, maybe you want to just purchase interval 2, 3, or 4, or you can get the bundle. It will still be cheaper in getting the bundle than buying them all separately. So you can that link will be in your email. If you have anybody that has not that would like to subscribe or is interested in either the Faith Building Bootcamp or the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp, please share your email with them, because I realized that the link is a little difficult to give to someone because it'll make you do all kinds of things. So you give them the email and they can click it themselves. So you can share my email with them, and they will have access to register for the program, and then be privy to all of the information that we provide on a daily basis. Tomorrow, as I said, we're going to talk about gut health. So I hope you are here for that. Our Faith Building Bootcamp is every day at 6 a.m. Our Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp is every day at 8 a.m. The Reverse It book and the Reverse It Success Journal that we shared with you is available on Amazon. It's actually a very quick read. I wanted to kind of give you some background on why it's important to detox. And on tomorrow, when we start our oranges, I'm going to tell you about my dad. I hope you are there tomorrow or here tomorrow so that we can share that with you. The Power Pack is available at www.p2whealth.com. It is a wonderful immune booster, and sometimes we might need it, particularly in this season. We need an immune booster. So that is it. I also would like to direct your attention to, and I should have told you this before, all of the juices, or many of the juices that we recommend. There are how-tos on my YouTube channel. You'll see Get Me Started there. You'll see Kick Some Kale there. So all of those different YouTube videos are available for viewing, so that you can get instruction and little tidbits as we talked about each one of those juices. So you'll see that for the reds and for the oranges. On the day 10, we're going to do what's called a juice bar. So all of the juices that, if you have any fruits and vegetables left over from these next 3 days, take all of your fruits and vegetables and juice them each separately. Juice them each separately. And I do this particularly because I like to get the carrot pulp, because we're going to make an amazing dish from the carrot pulp. and many of you are going to be wowed. I particularly like it, and so I think that that many of you will absolutely enjoy saving that pulp. The kale pulp I have saved and made it into muffins. I've made some kale muffins, and so it's just specks of kale in it, but it's a sweet muffin, obviously. I have also used the carrots to make carrot cupcakes. Like it's almost like a carrot, what do you call it? It's a raw dessert, but it's with carrots. And one of my friends came over the other day and I was showing her pictures. She said, stop, don't show me any pictures. You're making me hungry. But I'm going to share with you some of those pictures to not make you hungry, but to give you ideas when we get to that stage so that you'll be able to know that even as we go and we're eating raw foods, you're going to have some delicious raw foods. I mean, we're not talking just like a carrot stick and like, the food is infused with flavor, it's delicious, and it's exciting. Now, in that phase, when we start doing that, it is helpful to have a dehydrator. You don't have to have one. It is helpful to have an air fryer. You don't have to have one as we progress. It is helpful to have a juicer and a high-speed blender, but again, you don't have to have one because you can go to the store and get different things. But obviously, if you have it, it's good. If you don't have it, don't worry about running out and getting it or whatever. We'll give you, some of the things. There are other things that you can make without those tools. But I find that when you have the tools, things are just so much easier, and there's no sweat. There's a lot less sweat. So those are available. We have tons of recipes that you can make even without those tools that are absolutely delicious. And so I know you're going to look forward. I know you are looking forward to it because I know many of you are just like, I'm ready to chew, and it's coming. So stay with us. It is coming. Thank you guys so much. If there are no other questions, I don't see any questions in the chat from any of you. But if you do, and you put it in before I finish saying, I have a recipe book? Yes. As a matter of fact, for interval 3, when we start adding in cooked food, that is starting day 21. We start adding in cooked food. I have a YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, I should say. There is a series called Creative Cooking. I had an opportunity to broadcast our creative cooking episodes. We did 12 episodes. All 6 of my sisters were my sous chefs as we did the 12 episodes of creative cooking. And so those recipes are on Dr. Helen PS, and they will start at interval 20 on day 21 and beyond. And I have developed a cookbook that is a companion guide to those recipes on the YouTube channel. Some people like to have the recipe in the hand instead of writing it down when they see it on the screen. So we have put them in a book form that will be available first for download, but eventually will be ready in a hardback. But we have it available for download for interval 2, and we'll get that to you actually during interval 3, and we'll get that to you during interval 2. So thank you for that question. Yes, we do have a cookbook. I am also in the process of writing my next cookbook that is called The Genesis Plan. It is how God intended for us to eat, but how he did it, how we can do it deliciously. Because I did as I said before, I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I did one in Chicago, and I was talking about the food, and the pastor, he's a good friend of ours, he was talking about, are you going to be feeding us twigs and tips and whatever? So when we made a spread of food for everybody, they were like, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was like this. So he had to hold his tongue because he didn't realize that eating more healthfully was also more delicious. When I first started started eating like this, man, it was not that way. I'd go to a restaurant, and I was like, what do you know, ask them what they had. They would give me like an iceberg lettuce salad with a couple of slices of carrots and some dry tomatoes. And if I was fortunate enough, maybe there was an olive on it with Thousand Island dressing and or some kind of heavily fat laden dressing, and I would be hungry. Like I like to eat. I am an eater, and so that didn't do much for me. I needed more substance. So that was the impetus for developing this entire program, or part of the impetus for developing this entire program, is so that people can realize that you really don't have to sacrifice taste for your health. Right? You can still have tasty food and have healthy food. It is an and, not an or. So that is what I wanted to bring your attention. What about protein intake? It's very interesting that you would ask that. You know that vegetables have protein too. We forget that. But each vegetable has protein in it. So you're not missing protein. And there's also a myth that we need a whole lot more protein than we do. And we don't really do that. And there is a calculation for the amount of protein that your body needs. And trust me, you will get protein is never a problem when you're eating fruits and vegetables and legumes and beans and things of that nature. You will that is not your issue. The only issue that you will have is B12, and you have that issue whether you eat meat or not, because our soils are depleted, and so people are not getting as much B12 as they used to get because the soil is depleted. And the animals are eating the soil. They're not getting as much B12, and so they're not giving as much B12 to you. So B12 is the only thing that I check on, and I will take periodically just to make sure my B12 levels are standard. I kind of like mine in like the mid range, and so I try to keep mine there. So if it go, every week I might take B12, or I may take it twice a week or something like that, just to keep it where it needs to be. But for the most part, everything is good in that way. So protein is never going to be a problem. That is an excellent question, and I thank you for asking that, because apparently you know that health is the new currency. And I am so glad for all of you that you are spending it wisely. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great